Hey guys, this is Black117 here, and today I'll be going over like brand new Pokemon introduced in the Crown Tundra, and those are Regieleki and Regidrago, respectively. So if you'd like to see more content like this, feel free to like or whatever you want to call it. So let's just get right into it. So first off, we have Regieleki. So is this Pokemon is a brand new Regi form, as you see, with a similar BST distribution as Regieleki and Regis. However, the difference is, instead of these things like these guys here having like um, very high defense stats, these are more offensive in a way. So Regieleki here has like a whopping 200 speed, which is actually the fastest in the game, like dethroning Deoxys speed. So Regieleki is just ridiculously fast. As you can see, it has like from this is like based on their like a modest or neutral nature. It's almost clocking at 500 speed or at exactly like 499. So to put you in perspective how fast this thing is, let me just get this out. Let me just showcase this. Uh, Charizard at +1. No, I think it's like +1. Like yeah, +1 Charizard. Let's say like it barely clocks in at 492. So even like base 100, it's like positive speed, like positive speeds base 100s are still like outsped by Regieleki, which is like insane. So in terms of like the coverage, like in terms of the attacking stats, it has base 100s, so it's not the best for Regieleki, but as you see, like its move pool isn't really good. In fact, and it doesn't get any special coverage other than its than like some moves here and there, and of course its electric stabs between like like Electro Ball, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Rising Voltage, and Thunder Cage. Thunder Cage is actually kind of on par with well, I don't. It's not on par with Magma Storm in terms of damage, but like it's more accurate. So base base 80 damage, so it's basically like discharge. But being able to trap your opponent for like 4 or 5 turns or something on the switch while getting like trap chip damage can be pretty good if you ask me. So oh, I forgot to add this move here. But as you probably can tell, like Regieleki's move pool is just bones, like compared to like any of its forms. So so let's just get right into this. Like just get right into like the sets. One thing that I realized that when you're gonna have to when like using Regieleki is that you're gonna have to triple down on your electric coverage because unfortunately you don't have access to like and you this will become apparent later. You don't have access to any coverage for any ground, grass, and dragon type Pokemon, as well as any Pokemon that has a let's say like Volt Absorb, Lightning Rod. Like that's something I've noticed that this thing doesn't have like discharge as well. It does have Electrolib, but like to bypass well not bypass Lightning Rod. I guess in doubles, but like in singles, this is like pretty like this is pretty like tamed if you ask me. Or coverage wise, it's kind of bad, but here's where it makes up for it. So its ability, it's kind of interesting because it gives it like a 1.5 boost for with the Pokemon's attacking stat, like for when you while using any electric type attack. So essentially, you're giving this thing another like I guess you could say specs boost on top of like as possible specs. So 1.5 boost, and then you have choice specs, which obviously like increases its special attack by 1.5. So that's kind of interesting if you ask me. So in terms of coverage, you see Thunderbolt, Electro Ball, Volt Switch, and Swift. And what Electro, we already know like what Thunderbolt and like Volt Switch does. Like obviously you want to pivot out and go into your like your main heavy hitters and whatnot here and there. And Thunderbolt's your good general damage. Electro Ball is kind of interesting in the sense that like it allows Regieleki to be like a wall breaker, or not just like a cleaner, just a wall breaker against very slow targets. And of course, Whiff is for like ground types if you're in that unfortunate situation. So let's just get into like some of the damage calcs. Um, of course, I had to change this to a Jolteon, and I gave this thing a specs, put this input into stats, change the stats as is and whatnot. So obviously, we're not using this on Charizard because Charizard is uh gonna die. So let's just get into like Aegislash. Go to Aegislash here. So Aegislash is essentially like, let's get the subtopic set. So let me just remove electric terrain. So Thunderbolt from this thing is doing from Regieleki or Jolteon, this is modified Jolteon or Eleki, is doing 69.7 damage. Which is insane if you ask me. I gave this thing a +1 to replicate the another boost it gets. But here's another thing. Electro Ball is actually just has a very strong chance to like OHKO Aegislash after rocks, and without it, it has like a 56% chance. Of course, that like AG could like have like Spadef, but still, you're two-shotting this Mon, and that's not even considering the fact that we're putting electric terrain up on the field. So another Pokemon that I want to talk about is Blissey. Of course, Blissey does have access to boots, so you won't be able to get the chip damage. But if you're able to remove the boots, or get a good amount of chip on like Blissey, at least like I would say like about, well, let's see, like times this by two, let me see, times that by 2, 43, like 14 or 15%. Like you're essentially have you have a solid chance to two-shot Blissey, which is insane. Of course, you can't kill Chansey, but once you put electric terrain on the field, things change drastically because something like Rising Voltage just is able to two-shot Blissey, and then even like something as bulky as a Chansey just gets two-shotted as well, which is insane. Of course, Chansey can like stall out the turns, so yeah. Other like staples of defensive cores like Clefable. Of course, let me just remove this. Electro Ball will just drop Clefable, which is insane. And I believe what was it? Ferrothorn. Not Ferrothorn. Yeah, let's get Ferrothorn, I guess. Pretty insane how much damage this thing is doing. Like +1 specs, 150 Electro Ball is just doing like this much damage to like Ferrothorn. Of course, this could be like specially defensive, but right now I think most of them are physically based or special. I don't know. I don't know what they're learning on the ladder right now. All I'm seeing is Genesect. So yeah, as you can see, like Regieleki is just pretty insane if you ask me. Being able to like just two-shot some of the most dangerous Pokemon. Now, granted, you can't do anything to Landorus, and it really needs like Hidden Power Ice. If you ask me, it really needs Hidden Power Ice because, of course, like this won't get the boost. But like, if it were to have this, then it would be amazing. So, unfortunately, it doesn't. You have to use something like Round or Swift, or heck, even Hyper Beam. But we all know how Hyper Beam is. So, other sets I would consider is Life Orb mixed with like E-Speed and like Thunder Cage, just to take advantage of like the turns of like the opponent's trapping. But then again, these is just inferior to like Specs Aleki, if you ask me. Like you're better off just using like modest specs, and you could change like other than like Volt Switch and like Swift and maybe Electro Ball, like you could change whatever like attacking like electric move your main electric move. It would be like between Rising Voltage, Thunderbolt, Thunder, or Thunder Cage for the chip. So if you're running Rising Voltage, you really need like support like Tapu Koko. So yeah, you could also run Reflect or Dual Screens, and also something with Explosion. This thing also has Rapid Spin for some weird reason. So yeah, take that how you say. So Aleki overall isn't like, I would say it's like a very like, it's a good revenge killer and cleaner. And this thing is gonna be the definition of just having a ground type like immunity or like good resistances because like even against like stuff like let me just go back here like even say like something like a Latios. Let me just get the Revenge Killer option. Um, let's see. I just put the +1 back. Even a oh, this is +2, but even something like a Latios won't like to be like won't like taking this at all. And then you have something like let's say Kirim, just regular Kirim. Kirim can take these hits as well. So unfortunately, like Regieleki, like it gets shut down by very bulky resist and ground types. So I think this thing will just drop down in value in terms of like maybe Yu RU, I don't know. Especially it's frail, spell, and it doesn't have the coverage to like beat its counters or checks and counters. So I mean, if it didn't have that coverage, it would be actually usable. But I don't know. Like this thing it's set up fodder for like ground types. If you ask me, you could just go for rocks or go for chip. Pretty opposing type Pokemon coming in. So now let's just move on to its brethren or its twin, Regidrago. So Drago is pretty much similar in terms of the BST distribution. The difference is this thing actually has 200 uh like base defense like or base like HP, not defense in general, but this is almost similar to like both to that of Guzzlord. But the difference between like Guzzlord and this guy is that this guy is just a pure dragon typing, which is pretty good as is because you have some good resistance to water, like fire, electric, and grass. And obviously you're weak to only yourself, which let's be honest, no dragon type wants to deal with this thing. And then you also have fairy types, which will probably be the main. Like it will be similar to like Aleki, but at least this guy has a way to hit ways to hit like fairy types, I guess. If you ask me, so let me just go over some sets. Obviously the big one that stands in mind is Dragon Dance plus skill shots. Skill shot, as you some of you may or may not know, it gives you like a +1 speed raise and a -1 drop. And with Aleki's defenses, you might as well just double down on this. But if you think about it, skill shot's insane. But the combination of Dragon Ball, a stab, or times its stab, and its life form boost, and you have Adamant Nature. So unfortunately, this thing misses out having Earthquake. If you ask me, if this thing had Earthquake, it'd probably be very similar to like Charizard X in terms of coverage. That's a good example of Pokemon, but even though it doesn't exist, but um, in the current like generation, unless you're like playing Napdex or Draft, but this thing is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. You have like three options to like use between Dragon coverage. You have Outrage, you have Dragon Claw with for general stab, or you can have Scale Shots, which at best you'll get like you're getting a weaker Dragon Claw, assuming you get two hits uh or like two or like three hits, and then and at best you're like you have a damage output that outpaces that of like Outrage. So of course outrage you can like um get some massive KOs or as I'll illustrate here. So in terms of like coverage, Fire Fang seems to be like the best one to hit steel types, and also Hammer Arm in a way to hit like opposing steels, normal types. But anyways, like getting back to the team, um, Regidrago like has access to explosion, so on top of Dragon Dance and a possible Life Orb boost, you could use this to like just go boom on opposing fairy types. If you're once you're done with your sweep, you could just get a kill or two. You also have access to like moves like Facade, um, like Body Slam, Thrash as well, which can allow you to like to hit those Pokemon for a good amount of damage without like sacrificing yourself. Even though you're gonna be using Life Orb anyways, so yeah, that's like one set for Regidrago. So another two, like I would say, would be interesting are possible like choice band and a choice scarf set. They're basically the same, but it really depends on what you want with Regidrago. Choice band is kind of gives you the sweeping and cleaning power of a dragon type, and if you feel like you want to just like go boom at any point in the game, you can just go with explosion. You can just go and kill something. So, and then the last coverage option is between like whatever you feel like is good, between maybe like a hammer arm, fire fang, thrash, etc., etc. So, same with scarf, but like, I guess you could say like the difference here is between like it's really between outrage and scale shot. So, outrage allows you to break stuff pretty well because you're getting like on top of the stab, you're getting like a and a choice band. You're also getting a 1.5 boost to your attacking stat. So it's basically like having another choice band. So it's just the damage output from Regidrago is just insane. If you, with the choice band, which I'll showcase in some damage calcs. And if you don't feel like running a like outrage or using that as your main attacking stat, like attacking dragon move, you can also run scale shots, which can be a good cleaning option because you're already strong enough to like with your dragon maul boosted like stab like attacks. So why not just boost your speed? Just get like faster every time and just clean up like the opposition. So, and if you feel like it, you just go for explosion. So, for Scarf, it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference is maybe you want to run Adamant or Jolly Nature. Depends on what you feel. And you have access to Outrage and Scale Shots as well. Again, you could also opt out, run a Dragon Claw if you feel like the need. You could use that. So, and again, coverage-wise, I think Explosion could be really good for momentum for your own team. And then Body Slam or Hammer Arm is good coverage in general. So, in terms of like offensive calcs, well, let me just excuse me. So this is what I wanted to illustrate here. So let's just get like a Mew here. Let's just get a Mew because it doesn't take any, doesn't add any multipliers. So here's Mega Rayquaza. So this is what Adamant with a choice band. So this thing does 101 to Mew. So nothing crazy here. Regidrago with a +1 and a choice band, because this is basically you're adding like another boost as well. Like you're adding another boost and on top of a choice band. So so basically the +1 is basically Dragon Maul, and this choice band is basically like the choice band that I illustrated. You're doing about the same damage to Mew as like about the same. It's a damage roll, but still that's insane. So let's get something else, like a Toxapex. And you just two-shot Toxapex pretty handily, which is incredible if you ask me. Of course, you're gonna get helmet and like maybe like you get like helmet damage, but still, and maybe you want to go for skill like or for outrage, if just because you get only one, like you don't get like chipped down, but the Rocky Helmet or Baneful Bunker, you get poisoned. So yeah. Another calc I found, let me see if where's Corviknight, is that you two-shot you basically two-shot like defensive or like Spadef Corviknight with the choice band set, which is insane if you ask me. You could also go ahead and like skill shots is only useful for like stuff like just for cleaning purposes again. Like once you got like your kill, you just keep going. Here's a good example of this. Like, you're able to clean Oko, or you have a good chance to Oko Terrakion, depending on if you get more than 3 or more hits. Especially if the Terrakion's already weakened and you're already. And let's say like you get like +2 like speed, you're already like faster than the weight. Are you faster? Nope. Damn. Wow. You're barely slower than a Scarf Terrakion by 1 point. So disregard that. So, what other stuff we get to see? Oh yeah, Landorus. Of course, because big Landorus is back. Landorus is just, like even if this thing wants to switch in, like it doesn't take this very well. Like, just look at the damage output from this. 62 to like 73.2. So you're most likely gonna two-shot Landorus like on the Switch. So that's insane. So now let's just like use life orb, life orb. So of course like I'm gonna have to use helping hand. So it might change the damage calcs a bit until like they have implemented like they implement like Dragon Maul. So I think it's similar, like similar in terms of like damage output. So so if you're running like Dragon Claw or Dragon Claw Scale Shot or Outrage, this is how much you're doing to Landorus. Like at +1 or neutral, you're basically just like you have a good chance of two-shot, especially with rocks up. So that's insane. If you get to +2 with this guy, I think it's GG because you basically just get a +3 boost with the speed. So that's pretty good. Let's get Heatran. Like, cause Heatran doesn't like switch into this stuff, kind of like moves very well. And of course, you have access to Dragon Maul or Hammer Arm, so you could just use like Hammer Arm such as Oko Heatran pretty cleanly. So after a Dragon Dance boost, like if it takes any chip, pretty good. So let's see. Again, going back to our friend Toxapex. Of course, Toxapex could take this pretty well. I think his damage output did change a bit there, so... But... No, wait, I didn't have a Helping Hand. Oh wow, I didn't have Helping Band boost. So... Yeah, I figure, like, this would probably, like... wait. Let me see. So Helping Hand, which is basically Dragon Maul plus Life Orb plus 1. Yeah, you're basically have a good chance to two-shot Toxapex, so that's pretty insane. And then with Scale Shots, you could use that to, like, accumulate speed boost as well. Of course, like if you're like lowering your defenses, you're gonna be you're weakening yourself to like priority. So like stuff like Scizor can like revenge kill you. I know there's Genesect on the tier, which can kill like Drago after like -1 or 2, especially the choice band E-speed set. But that thing's probably gonna get banned. But still, regardless, I do think Drago is slightly worse than like or better than Regieleki, but only because it's still able to hit like opposing fairy types, but at the cost of like its own life in a way, because you're gonna have to rely on using like something like explosion, because of course let me remove the helping hand boost. +1 Fire Fang, you're not doing anything to something like Sylveon or Clefable. In fact, let me just put Clefable on the field just to illustrate the point. And Clefable is probably gonna have like you know the unaware, very likely. So, but still, like you have +1 Life Orb, you know, Regidrago with Explosion can Oko Clefable, which is pretty good. Like you could go for a 1-for-1 trade if you want, and just have your other Pokemon like you know like win the game for you. So it could give you some kind of momentum in a way. So if you get Life Orb and the Dragon Dance or 2 boost, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, that's all I have to say about these guys. I would say if between the two, I'd say Drago is better, just because its damage output with Dragon Maul, Dragon Dance, also Life Orb, or you know like or a choice band set like this is like pretty interesting if you ask me. They're like the two sets I would say like if in a lower tier, like in a lower tier or draft league setting, they look like they can excel pretty well. So so yeah, like the only thing is the coverage like for Regieleki is just really bad. Like it's just it's like this thing needed like something like Focus Blast, Grass Knot, or something like that, or even Icy Wind or to help it. But unfortunately, it didn't get access to anything. Drago, I think it needed like Iron Head or something like that just to be able to like muscle past fairy types. Like, let me see, just to illustrate the point. Like, Iron Head would have been amazing to have on this guy instead of just going for Boom. Yeah, but then again, you need like you're not Okoing Clefable, which is like bad. So yeah, that's all what I have. That's all I have for these guys. So I'll be making more guide videos or moveset guides in the future. So the next Pokemon pairings or group I'm gonna do are the Galarian birds. So yeah, feel free to like watch that video once that drops. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, I'll see you soon.